going to attempt to relate the information presented on this channel in comparison with the allegory of Judeo-Christianity's Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, fall of Adam story. First of all, it must be known that the Judeo-mystics did believe in just one God, although they have 72 names of God that they also refer to. And in Hebrew scripture, such as the book of Genesis, God is referred to in the book of Genesis as plural, the gods, in ancient text. In the Kabbalah, we learn the name of these gods as the 72 names of God that are part of the tradition of the Kabbalah. There being one God and many gods mentioned is not a conflict. They believe in one self, one God from which all things emerge, both within time and space. And they also believe, though, that there is a plurality within duality of God, and they depict this with the 72 names of God. If you have studied anything of near-death experiences, I recommend a website. It's called near-death.com, and it has many stories of near-death experiences. These 72 gods mentioned in the Kabbalah, the names of God, are what some people have seen in near-death experiences as the matrix of oversouls from which all souls on the earth originate from. They are the matrix of the oversouls that guide the evolution of earth, and from which all souls that are incarnate come from and eventually return to, and are often referred to by many as our, quote, higher selves within the self, or the soul within the self, the higher soul within the one self, or our higher selves. And they are a matrix of oversouls that have guided the evolution of this planet. The Anunnaki in the Sumerian culture refer to these as the Anunnaki, or the fallen angels, who understand the mastery of DNA and the Serpent, and who understand the, quote, artifacts of life. These are the oversouls mentioned by those who have near-death experiences. They are also spoken of in books such as Dr. Michael Newton's books of Journey of Souls as the elders, those in the highest part of the hierarchy of reincarnated souls that are the elders that guide reincarnation cycles, and are the higher selves almost of all souls that are begotten and created in lower realms. I want to talk about the symbols of the Garden of Eden. First of all, I'm going to digress. The 72 names of God, also, there is a parallel, because there are actually 4 groups that comprise these 72 God names. And these groups are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as the 4 human progenitors. These 72 oversouls, or the matrix of the higher selves of all souls within time and space that are begotten here, are comprised of souls within 4 groups, and these are the 4 human progenitors mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as well. Some of the symbols of the allegory of the Garden of Eden is first the creation. If you notice that this allegory has many different levels of interpretation, but the first of all is they mention the waters, and they mention the void at first. They mention that the gods looked out upon the void, and the void is the lower realms of this earth that at that time were void of life, and had not yet been organized. The light and the energy of the denser realms of this earth had not been organized into life. It was as if it was a void. It mentions the waters. The waters, if you study the magical arts, the element of water refers to the astral realms, where light and energy are more fluid and easily directed by thought and intention. It's a more fluid state in the astral realms that are less denser than the physical realm where you and I find ourselves within. And they looked upon the void and the expanse of the waters in this astral and began to form land, which in the Kabbalah, land, earth, is symbolized by the glyph of Malkuth, which is the physical plane. So we learn that the creation took place first on the void, and then with the waters, which is the astral, and organize itself in the higher planes of the astral until finally it condenses into the physical plane, which is also symbolized on the Tree of Life glyph as Malkuth. You can also look at it this way, because next it mentions fish. In the physical plane, as you study evolution, these oversouls have been guiding the evolution of Earth since its conception, and 4.5 billion years ago, and directing life to be able to evolve on this world. It hasn't happened haphazard. And it starts with the microorganism DNA within microorganisms, and then into the fish that it talks about in Genesis, into the plants, and then later the animals, until finally the stage is set where the creation of Adam takes place. Now, at this point, life is depicted in the allegory of the Garden of Eden as being everlasting. That is because this happens on the higher planes. This is not in the mundane plane of matter known in the Kabbalah as the glyph of Malkuth, where you and I are on, the physical plane. This happened in more subtler planes, where life is organized there first and created there first. And that is where the soul of Adam was first begotten by the gods. They said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. And again, it was plural in the text, and Christians have changed that to being singular. But in the Judeo text, it is plural, and is also symbolized by the 72 names of God in Judeo, in the Kabbalah. I want to talk about the symbol of Adam. First of all, Adam, every human being is a representative of Adam, and then from Adam came Eve. There's the male and the female. Within duality, male and female represent duality, but also life on this planet has evolved in such a way where there is a gender. And so there is a male and a female. And if you notice how the gods form Adam, they form him out of the, quote, dust of the earth. And but at this point, remember that this is in a more everlasting paradisical realm. This is not the dirt of the mundane. Although our physical bodies are created out of the same substance of which is made of dirt and later organized by DNA into your cells. It's all the same substance, DNA just organizes it. But Adam is organized out of the quote, dust. They did not reach within themselves, or the gods did not create Adam out of their own soul. They reached outside of themselves, within that which surrounds them, and formed the soul of Adam out of the dust. Formed Adam's soul out of the one self that we all share. The self that surrounds us, that is actually a part of us in the unified matrix of the universe. So they formed this new soul, Adam. Now Adam is begotten and created and can act for himself. And he finds himself in this paradisical realm on the earth that has been created and guided in its evolution of life by these 72 gods. Now Adam, also within the Garden of Eden, there is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And knowledge of good and evil is only gained by experience. And it says that he was told that he should not partake of it by God, singular in the Christian scripture, but plural in the Judeo texts. And these 72 oversouls that are the higher selves, the matrix of the higher selves that have put themselves as higher selves within the one self of all souls that are begotten here. They are not the only ones. They are angelic, and there are hundreds of billions of other angel souls that are just like them, although they do not participate in incarnating soul offspring into lower realms, as the 72 do. And these gods that do not participate in this, these angels that do not participate in reincarnation and in incarnating offspring into lower planes, warned Adam, so that if you eat of this metaphorical tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will die. You will experience a death. And it says you will surely die.